of one of my poems. Okay, I put pen to the paper and words just flow. Hey beauties, welcome back to Just Call Me Tasha, where we talk about mental health, self-care, and journaling. All right, so how are you? It's a new year. Happy New Year. Super excited for 2021 and everything that it has to offer us. So excited. All right, so we have started a challenge. If you don't currently follow me on Instagram, please make sure you go follow me. My Instagram is just call me Tasha _. I have started a challenge for 2021 as of January 1st. We will be doing gratitude journaling. So I've been getting the same questions. What is gratitude journaling and how do I do it? I thought it was important for me to come here and first tell you about the importance of journaling, and secondly, to tell you about my history with journaling. So let's get into it. I have come up with 4 reasons. I always do that. I always hold up like 2 hands. I've come up with 4 reasons why journaling is important. Numero uno. Journaling is a way to kind of just get everything out. Many of us, let me not say many of us, speaking for myself, didn't always have a go-to person that I can talk to. And so journaling is what kind of helped me to just get everything out, to get things from your head and onto paper so that you are not sitting there and just thinking about the same things over and over again, trying to create solutions to problems and just hitting a roadblock. A lot of times when we are in our own heads, we tend to have negative self-talk. And so we need to get those thoughts from our heads and onto paper. Or if you have somebody to talk to, then talk to that person. There are therapists, there are coaches, there are mentors, there are friends, there are spouses. There are people for you to talk to. In the event that you either cannot reach that person or you do not have anybody to speak to, a journal is a simple way to go, and it goes a long way. So get it out there. Get it out of your head and onto paper. What else? So, creativity. I did not think that I was a creative person until I started bullet journaling. Y'all know your girl love a bujo, okay? But journaling helps you to be creative. My very first journal, it transitioned from like a diary to poetry, from poetry to spoken word, from spoken word to songs, from songs to raps, like creativity, okay? Not saying that I was good at it, but I was able to do it because I took it from my head and I put it on paper, and I was able to just express, just be me without any judgment, because nobody else was reading my journal but me. Number 3, self-care. Guys, when I take out my bullet journal, my whole house knows, don't talk to me. This is my time, okay? And a lot of times we need that. Let people know this is my time, okay? Create those boundaries. When I journal, even if you are speaking to me, I can guarantee you I probably don't hear what you're saying. You could be standing right in front of my face and I probably won't even realize, because that's my time and I appreciate that time to get everything out that I want to get out. With a bullet journal, I am able to create multiple layouts. And if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen many of those layouts. I just love it. I love to color my pages. I love to create my pages. And I still journal in between, like diary entries, and now we're doing the gratitude log, different things of that nature. So creativity. you really get to be you. Number 4. This is a big one, okay? Self-reflection. Guys, sometimes we literally are just going through the motions day by day, like living from one day to the next day to the next day to the next day, and we never stop to think about where we're actually coming from. And I think when I started journaling, it actually gave me the ability to be like, oh, look how much you've grown. Like, this is where you were, and this is where you are now. And not to say that where I am now is like, that's it, there's no more growth from here. Not true. But you are able to see the younger version of yourself, some of the things that version of you struggled with, and where you are now and how you've overcome some of those things. Or you're able to see where you need to really focus on, right? Sometimes when I'm reading my journal, I can see that I struggle in a certain area, like there's a pattern. And so it really gives me the opportunity to be like, okay, well, let's dig deeper. Why is this happening? And how can I fix it? How can I change that about myself or about my situation? So self-reflection is a huge thing. I am going to go through my journals with you. So I shared this in my last video, and if you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and post the link in the caption. I have been journaling since 2005. 2005, my grandmother passed away of breast cancer, and your girl was distraught, okay? It felt like the world was crumbling beneath me, and I just was trying to grab onto everything on my way down, and I couldn't. Shout out to my auntie Helen, who taught me about journaling. She was like, yeah, like get a journal and just write how you're feeling, write any and everything that you want to. And so I took her advice. I think back then I had like a composition notebook or something. I didn't really understand the importance of journaling or getting it out there. A lot of us grew up in a household where the child isn't able to express themselves. And so for me, I didn't really feel like my voice needed to be heard or that anybody cared to listen to it, because that was the environment that I was in. And so journaling was a great way for me to just get everything out. So in 2005, I had my first journal, and I really wish I knew where that journal was today, because I would have loved to seen growth, because I'm pretty sure I have grown. So I started doing diary entries in 2005. That transitioned, and I started writing poetry. That is when this lovely journal was birthed. I actually got this journal from, I don't know if you guys remember the store Cotton On. Oh my God. Cotton On was very popular at Broward Mall. And I think they had this book like on sale for 97 cents. It was no more than $2. So I picked this up and I was like, I'm going to use this for my poetry. Guys, I'm gonna read you a little snippet of one of my poems. Okay, I put pen to the paper and words just flow. However I'm feeling is where my heart tells me to go. Big person, small voice, indecisive and unable to make a choice. Struggling with insecurities and never really knowing who I ought to be. For years, this is something I've never been able to accept, from the length of my hair to the size of my breast. Feeling like I've never belonged and everybody I've loved did me wrong. Maybe it's me, but this is the struggle I face with my insecurities. And it goes on and on. It's a very long poem. But you can see, or hear rather, that in this journal, I'm really just like letting everything out. The things that sometimes we are afraid to talk about with people because we don't want to be judged. Like, your journal is where you do it. Your journal is where you say everything you want to say and you just get it out, honey. Get it out. It's so important. So yeah, I have tons of poems in here, and I can actually tell like I stopped journaling for a while or writing poems for a while because it's empty back here. Oh, I found some notes that I was taking in school. So yeah, poetry. I also did some spoken word very shortly. It was like a very short span in my life, in addition to thinking that I could rap. But again, that's where that creativity comes in, and it's like you feel like you can just do all these things, and you can. That's not to say you're gonna be great at it, because I don't believe I was great at rapping, but your girl could write. Okay, I know how to write. My next journal, let me see which journal came after that. Oh, I believe it was this one. So that black journal that I just read that poem from, that was around 2000, I want to say 2013-ish, 2014, or probably earlier. It may have been 2012, actually, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. Then I started this journal. So there was a point in my life where your girl was sold out in the church. I don't even want to say sold out for Jesus, because I was really into the church. Okay. I think that was a point in my life where I learned about tradition and religion, and yeah, I journaled about it. So this journal talks about it has a lot of notes in there from when I was in the College of Ministry. Yes, I went to the College of Ministry. So I have a lot of notes in this journal, and I talk about some of the things that I experienced during that time in my life. So this is a good one also. I won't read anything from that. What journal came next? So I think it was this journal. Actually, I got this journal in 2015 when I first moved to Tampa. My cousin noticed that I liked to write, and so she got me this journal. It has like prongs, the little binder clips. This is Kayla's entry, so it's not mine. I'm not drawing hearts all over the place. Yeah, so it has like little dividers and lined paper, and it's really cute. You can take the paper out, you can adjust the paper because it has multiple holes. This journal I actually didn't end up using because it's too big for me. I don't necessarily like the binder. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't but it is really cute, so I never like got rid of it. I was like, I'm going to use this for something one day, so I still have it. The next journal that I had, I think it was this journal. Yes, it was this journal. Okay, so this journal was actually in between the black one and the plus sign. I don't know. Because in this journal, I also wrote about my experience in the church. Yeah, and this one's actually pretty full. This one's pretty full. However, when I stopped writing in this journal, I folded the page and I was like, I'm gonna come back to this. So I actually did this year when I started therapy. I used this journal to document all of the things, like the strategies, the skills, the lessons, things of that nature that I was going through with my therapist. Journaling in here as well to kind of go back to my therapist and talk about it. A lot of the entries in here, I actually acknowledged the emotion. So for me, I think sometimes we don't realize that we are suppressing certain feelings and certain experiences that we've had in life, and so we don't acknowledge them. And it was really important for me, especially this year, to acknowledge my traumas, things that you don't even realize are traumas, to finally own it and just be like, yeah, I know you're here. I know you're the reason why I cannot progress. We're going to nip this in the bud. So that was really helpful. And looking back on it now, and it hasn't even been, well, I guess it's been a year. March, April will be a year. To see the growth, like in just a year, to see the growth from where I was in therapy to where I am right now. So that's that. And last but not least, I saved this one for last because, oh, domino effect. I saved this one for last because even though I started using my bullet journal in 2016, I use this journal the most. This is my favorite journal. So a bullet journal is a journal that has bullets. It's just dots. It's really hard to see here, but again, I'm going to link my last video, which shows you the pages a little bit better. So you literally create whatever you want with this journal. This is really for people that like love to do little artsy things, artsy fartsy people. I did not think that I was very artsy fartsy, but I'm going to show you like my very first time writing in the book. This was my plan for the book. I was gonna have icons and I was going to write about my task and when I complete a task, and yeah, it didn't work out that way. So my very first layout plan was November, and what was I writing about? Oh, I actually wrote about being grateful. Oh, how cool. So yeah, I use this so I created my own calendar, so to speak. Every week I wrote down what it is that I was going to be doing, and you create whatever you want. It is your journal, and I love it. I love this journal. I created a monthly layout, so each page you can use to do whatever you want with it. 2017, it was a new year. I laid out the entire year, just as you would see in like the journal that you buy from the store, except you're creating it yourself. So I thought that was pretty cool. Habit trackers. Again, you get a closer look at this in the last video that I made. Can't stress it enough, go check it out. This, now, I've had this since 2016. So you can tell that there were times where I was not using it because I'd probably be done with all of the pages by now. However, I have been so much more consistent with it now, and I found a greater purpose for it. My gratitude log. So yeah, this is my latest journal that I'm in love with, and I can use it to create whatever I want, to write whatever I want, to do whatever I want within the journal. I enjoy the coloring. It's really therapeutic for me. Bullet journal is just my zhuzh. It's something that I enjoy doing. But you have to find what works for you. And I didn't want to just jump into it and tell you guys what to do with your journal until you really figure out which journal you think is going to serve the best purpose for you. Oh, I forgot to tell you about my last two journals. Look at me. So I got this journal for Christmas from my sister and my nieces. It's so beautiful. This journal actually has like the time listed in there for every day. It breaks it down, and it also has like a scripture at the top, which is what I love the most about what I love the most about it, I am not a person that like breaks things down by the time. But they did buy it for me, so I am going to try and use it. Even if I don't use it every day, I'm going to try my best to utilize it because it was a gift and I'm appreciative. They also got me this journal that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I use this journal now to write down my notes for my YouTube channel. I am not a digital person, and I think I've said that before. I'm not the person that likes to write journal entries on the phone or the computer or anything like that. I'm more like the person that likes to physically have pen and paper. I think it just sticks more. I'm old school, I know, I'm an old soul. However, there are some journals out there that you can utilize on your device, and you can sync it to all of your devices so that when you're on the go, if you feel like, oh, this is the time I need to journal, you can do that also. I like to journal when it's just me, when I can get everything out and not have to worry about the distractions around me. So I wouldn't primarily journal when I'm on the go. I would have to do it at home or even in my car. Y'all know my car is my safe place. So that's just me. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Comment below if you use or have used any of these journals. If you are still confused with which journal you want to start using. And I am going to upload another video where I talk to you guys about gratitude journaling, how it works, how you can start, all of that good jazz. But the first step is figuring out which journal you think is going to work for you. If you are a journaler like myself, comment below. I'd love to connect with you to see some of the things that worked for you. Or if you're a person that has used journaling before and you're like, it's a no-go for me, also comment below because I'd like to connect with you also. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, be blessed.